balance patch for Marvel Rivals Season 1. So we're gonna do a quick reaction video and check out what's different. I've looked at this already, but I wanted to go over everything for everybody who hasn't seen it yet. And let's start with the Vanguards. We got Captain America. Reduce the delay time for shield restoration after releasing Living Legend from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. Okay. Reduce Liberty Rush cooldown from 12 to 10 seconds. So I believe that's his shield bash thing where he dashes forward. That's a pretty significant buff. 2 seconds is really nice. Increases base health by 25 points, so he's 675 now. And they made his ult charge cheaper, and they reduced the additional health provided per second to self, which I'm not sure what that means. That's a weird translation. But overall, I think it looks like Cap's got some pretty good buffs. Strange appears to have been nerfed. They added damage fall off to his Maelstrom of Madness and Gamma Maelstrom, starting at 5 meters and reducing to 70% at 8 meters. That's a really big fall off. So he didn't have any fall off before, apparently. And this is actually going to be a pretty significant nerf, actually. A 70% damage reduction at 8 meters. If I'm not wrong, oops. Let's look at the Marvel Rivals website. Maelstrom Madness deals. So yeah, it was an 8 meters radius before, and it had no fall off. So you were able to kill people at 8 meters, and it would deal 1.3 damage per dark magic. So it's 130 damage. So that fall off is going to be significant. He effectively is losing like 3 meters of range. Like, that's a lot of damage. And his shield doesn't recharge as fast. This is a huge nerf for Strange. They really downplayed this. So Strange might be, I mean, I think he'll still be really good, but his lethality from his E is down a lot. You need to be right up in their face, which is going to be kind of sad, especially when you want those big ult moments, like you ult and then you explode. You're less likely to kill everybody because of this fall off reduction. God of Thunder could use some survivability and improve success rate. We got 25 extra HP, and he gets immunity to control effects during his ult, which is huge. So Penny Parker won't be able to web him while he's flying. Hulk can't grab him while he's flying. And pretty much every other stun in the game, because there are quite a few. You can still kill him though, so I think this is totally reasonable. Hulk has been dominant, but they want to decrease some sustained combat capability upon entering the battlefield to bring him more in line with other Vanguards. So they reduced the indestructible Gamma Guard shield value to 200 from 250. So it's weaker. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually break Hulk's shields. Before it was 250 HP. Now it's only 200. So characters like Wolverine, you'll be able to shred it through his shield faster and get to the Hulk at the core of the lollipop. Venom. With increased survivability to the threat of his ultimate ability, the symbiote menace will strike fear into the backlines of all enemy teams. Increased symbiotic resilience bonus health ratio gained per lost health point from 1 to 1.2. So when you use your E, you're going to gain a lot more health. I believe some people were saying he was hitting like 1,000 HP when you were low and you pressed your E. So that's actually a pretty big buff. He's going to be a lot more tankier after he presses his shield button. And they increased the base damage of Feast of the Abyss, which was an abysmally low value. It was 40 damage before. Now it is 50. You're still probably not going to kill with it. You know, it does max health damage, or it does current health damage. So you want to use it when people are full HP to do the most amount with it, at least. But there's a chance you could now potentially kill somebody. 50 damage is definitely more significant than 40. It's still not a murder ult though. We're decreasing T'Challa's combat survivability. This is huge. A dashing Panther sometimes felt unkillable because he gets so much HP for every time he dashes. Because they reduced the additional health provided after refreshing vibranium marks with Spirit Rend from 40 to 30, and the upper limit of health provided from 120 to 75. This is a really big survivability enough. Panther should be much easier to kill in a 1v1 if you're able to land your shots, and he's landing his. So rip to Panther mains, I guess. But also, I hate Panther mains, so I'm a Wolverine player, and he's the most annoying thing to fight. So this is a big win for Wolverine. Black Widow. Natasha was in very much need of optimization when evaluating the release experience of her abilities, as well as a slightly increase to the threat of her ultimate. They increased the range of the first effect from Edge Dancer from 3 to a 5 meter radius. I believe that's her E. So when she does your kick, she gets an extra 2 meters. That's kind of big. So she can hit people way farther away with it. Holy crap, they totally buffed her sprint. Reduce the time required for Fleetfoot to recover from 0 stamina to full from 12 seconds to 4 seconds. That is a major buff. It took 12 seconds to recover her stamina, and now it only takes 4. So Widows are going to be sprinting around the map, being extremely annoying. They reduced the time required for Plasma to reach maximum power from 1 second to 0.6 seconds. So it's a lot easier to charge up. I was seeing a lot of Widows just instantly fire their Plasma burst. So this might actually make them do the charge up. We'll see. Hawkeye. Thank God they're nerfing Hawkeye. Here we go. We'll be decreasing the medium long range damage capability, reducing the threatening combat radius, and slightly improving the close combat resistance of the Avenging Archer. Slightly reduce the spread angle between every 2 blast arrows. Okay, so they're buffing his blast arrows. Nobody used those anyway. We'll see if them being closer together makes them usable. And they reduce the triggering distance of passive ability of Archer's Focus from 60 meters to 40 meters. Okay, so you have to be way closer to trigger your arrow charge up. It's a 20 meter decrease. And they're reducing the maximum additional damage of the passive from 80 to 70. So the max damage is reduced, and the passive. I also heard that it was longer to charge up, but I'm not sure if that's true. It doesn't say it here. Hela. Hela is also getting nerfed. The Goddess of Death has been a menace, and we're decreasing her combat strength. We're reducing her base health from 275 to 250. So this is kind of the change I expected for her, honestly. I was like, they're going to reduce her HP. She didn't ever need to be 275 with her lethality. So something that isn't mentioned here is they're also reducing the seasonal bonus from her being an anchor team up from 20 damage or 20% damage to 15% damage. This actually reduces her max damage from 84 damage per shot to 80.4 per shot. So against a 250 HP target, she's going to take 4 hits to kill instead of 3 for body shots. So Hela's body shot bandits are receiving a bit nerf. She can still like 2-shot you with headshots, but yeah, she is nerfed on her damage. This looks like nothing, but they actually did nerf her relatively significantly. I mean, it messed with her breakpoint for a lot of characters to kill. Queen of Limbo needed an extra increase to her threat. So yeah, Magik's ult was kind of weak, to be honest. And they are buffing it by 20 damage for her Umbral Incursion damage from 115 to 135. That's a 20 damage increase. Umbral Incursion is her E. Okay, so her E is doing more damage. in her ult. Moon Knight. They increased the number of talons generated by Hand of Khonshu from 10 to 14. So more hands will fall down to do more damage. And they increased the radius of each talon from 4 meters to 5 meters. So those explosions are going to hit harder. His ult lethality has definitely gone up here. So watch out for Moon Knight ults. It might absolutely kill you. We're optimizing the throwing feel of Namor's eggs. Adjusting the throwing feel of Monster Spawn and Frozen Spawn. Now he can accurately throw them to the desired location. Not sure what that means. That's super vague. It could be that maybe he can throw them farther, potentially. That's my guess, is that he can probably throw them farther. We'll have to see when the patch comes out on the 10th, or watch one of the people who got into the early access. But that's a Namor buff. Psylocke. We'll be providing more options for other heroes to counter the Demon Slayer's ultimate. Now Dance of Butterfly ultimate ability will check for barriers, including Magneto's Metal Bulwark and Hulk's Indestructible Guard. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming this meant that her ult just ignored these bubble shields, and now it doesn't, which is crazy that it went through those barriers. But yeah, so now bubbling somebody in Magneto might actually save them. Punisher. We're increasing the damage capability of Frank's weapons. They reduce the spread of deliverance and adjudication. So that's both his shotgun and his assault rifle. Scarlet Witch. This is kind of big buffs for Scarlet Witch. So Witch enjoyers, you're eating good today. They increased Chaos Control's fixed damage from 50 to 60% damage. 60 damage per second. That's a 10 damage increase. Very significant. They reduced the percentage damage. So, in case you didn't know, Scarlet Witch's primary fire actually dealt max HP damage. Not like it did a lot, because you don't really see your M1ing tanks very often, but that's reduced now that she has an extra 10 damage. This is an overall buff for sure. And her Chthonian Burst projectile, so this is a right click, is going from 30 to 35. Storm is getting huge buffs. They're increasing their wind blade projectile speed from 100 meters to 150, so her basic attacks are way faster, and the damage is going from 50 to 55. They increased bolt rust damage from 70 to 80. This is a right click. I didn't know it did that much damage, but that's really nice. And after releasing Omega Hurricane, the bonus health provided for herself would be increased from 350 to 400. Moreover, following its conclusion, the extra health would no longer vanish instantly. Oh, so they just absolutely buffed Storm's ult. Storm's going to be scary. I was already seeing videos where Storms were doing 50k damage in comp matches, being absolutely nutty. A lot of people don't know this, but her wind blades actually do pierce through enemies. So if there's a bunch of people in a hallway, Storm racks up damage with her piercing. She's going to be definitely scarier. Squirrel Girl. We're increasing the threat of Doreen and her furry friends. So, Unbeatable Squirrel Tsunami now rushes towards the nearest enemy after bouncing, instead of bouncing randomly. This is going to be gross. Those squirrels are going to absolutely eat you alive in small tunnels. Be afraid. Be afraid. They did reduce the squirrel's health from 600 to 300. That's still a lot of HP. And it's hard to hit the squirrel. You have to hit the one in the middle, and a lot of people don't know you could actually kill it. We'll see if it actually happens now. But I think her ult's going to be so much better. Winter Soldier. They didn't advertise this in the trailer, but Bucky got absolutely mega buffed. They're increasing the bonus health provided by his bionic hook from 30 to 40, so he gets 10 more HP. They increased his projectile damage. I'm not certain if Bucky can headshot, but if that does, it helps him a lot in the headshot capability. To compensate for that, they took the 5 damage off of the AoE explosion. So he still does the same amount of damage to the person he's shooting as he did before, but he'll do it a little bit less AoE damage. It's like a power shift. And they increased his health overall by 25, so he's now a 275 hero, which makes sense. Why was Hela a 275 hero when Bucky was not? This just makes sense. I'm not angry about it. I just don't get why they didn't advertise it, because this is a huge Bucky buff. All right, and my boy, Wolverine. Everybody in the low gang, we're excited. Logan will increase to basic combat strength, but a slight decrease to additional survivability after activating Undying Animal. I was up most of last night wanting to know. I knew about the 50 HP, but I didn't know about any other changes. And it turns out there was another change, and I am disappointed. They are nerfing his E, his Undying Animal, his damage reduction ability from 50 damage to 40. That sucks. I was hoping he would have gotten something more than HP. It's still an overall buff. I did the calculations. For instance, for Hela in season 0, it would take 4 shots to kill. Now with the 300 HP and her damage nerf, it'll take 5 body shots to kill. And it doesn't affect the breakpoint when he's using his E for Hela. For tank busting, it also helps him overall. Season 0, Hulk would take 8 punches to kill a Wolverine, or at least trigger his passive. Now, at 350 health, it's 9 punches, so the breakpoint goes up. The E damage reduction does not change. It's still 15 and 15. The reduction does not affect any breakpoints, really. It does suck, but having more health overall is better. You're not always going to have your E up. Thor, it's the same thing. He lives 1 more punch than he used to. And same thing when Thor is in Thor Force. It actually doesn't affect it at all. It's still 5 Thor Force shots and 9 Thor Force shots from season 0 to season 1. So Wolverine, he's buffed. He'll be doing better in 1v1s with other duelists off of this. He'll live a little bit longer. Having more HP means he'll get to keep his passive more, so you can play more recklessly. I'm excited to try it out. I was really hoping they would increase the range of his right click a little bit, but I'll take Wolverine buffs. He's still really strong. People are starting to get mad at Wolverine players because they're realizing how powerful he really is versus tanks. And that's all the duelists, so let's go to strategists. Cloak and Dagger. Ty and Tandy will receive an increase to their healing capability as well as an expansion to the coverage area of their ultimate ability. This is really big. So the Dagger Storm cooldown is now 15 to 12 seconds, which is a huge buff. A Dagger Storm is a right click, the big AoE healing blue orb. Being able to use that 3 seconds earlier is a very large buff. 15 seconds is a long time. 12 is a lot shorter. And she can ult and dash 1 more time. So instead of 3, she gets 4 dashes with her ult. And her ults stack, so this means it'll be even harder to kill her if she stacks all 4 in one spot and you're standing in it. The only thing that can kill it is an Iron Man ult, maybe a Magneto ult at full charge. She's going to be really good. I think this helps her a lot. Her ult's still kind of janky, but a 4th dash is gigantic. Jeff the Landshark. So they've adjusted Jeff's ultimate range from a 10-meter sphere to a 10-meter radius and a 5-meter high cylindrical spell field. Okay. So it used to be a sphere, and now it's a cylinder. So now it should be easier. Basically, it's going to be more accurate. Because a lot of times you'd get like weirdly clipped by the edge. So hopefully it being a cylinder will increase the accuracy of players being in or out of his ult. They have also increased the healing of Joyful Bash from 140 per second to 150, which is pretty big. Jeff was kind of lacking. I might do a video of it going over the hero win data, but Jeff is like the worst healer in terms of win rate, or support, or strategist, I should say. So that's a pretty big win for Jeff Mains, honestly. Luna Snow increased the interval for switching between healing and damage in Fate of Both Worlds from 0.1 seconds to 0.5 seconds. So basically, all those people who bound their ult to their scroll wheel, you're gonna have, it doesn't work anymore. All right, Mantis. They nerfed Mantis, which makes sense. Mantis has like the highest win rate in the game right now. And they were reducing her passive. So when she's not attacked, she gets a movement speed boost. And it's going from 2.5 meters per second to 1.5 meters per second. She was actually faster than a sprinting Captain America with her passive. It was kind of ridiculous. This makes sense. It's gonna feel crappy to us Mantis players, but I'd say it's deserved. She's like one of the best supports in the game. And Rocket Raccoon, they increased the healing of repair mode from 60 per second to 70 per second. So he is now healing more, which is big for Rocket. I always hated when Rockets were on my team because I felt like I wasn't getting enough HP heals. This helps that out a lot. All right, team up ability changes. Hawkeye and Black Widow. To further tone down Hawkeye's oppression, we've reduced his heals buff from 20% to 15%. I mentioned this about Hela, but Hawkeye also received it. And Hela, Thor, and Loki, they reduced hers as well from 20% to 15%. This does affect her breakpoint for 250 HP heroes. Now she will take 4 body shots instead of 3, as I said before. They buffed Namor's, so the frozen spawn damage now does more damage, 25 to 2017. And the slowing effect is increased from 25 to 34. I don't know why they're buffing Namor. Namor seemed really strong. I had a Namor last game with like 40 kills in a quick play game. It was insane. And they increased the berserk state of the frozen spawn damage from 16 to 18. So just mega buffed his frozen guy. All right, they reduced the cooldown of ammo invention from 45 seconds to 40. So this is the infinite ammo button that Rocket has with Punisher and Winter Soldier. So it's on a shorter cooldown, which is scary. Winter Soldier with infinite ammo is spooky. Do not underestimate that. His gun is super powerful. Like normally only has 3 ammo in his mag. Infinite is crazy. Scarlet Witch and Magneto. They increased the metallic fusion projectile damage from 55 to 60, and the spell field damage from 30 to 35. This combined with the Scarlet Witch buffs, you're gonna see, and the Hulk and Strange nerfs, you might see Magneto's come out with Scarlet Witches, and they will be terrifying. And then we've got Thor, Storm, and Captain America. We will be enhancing the damage capability of Thor's side of his team ability. They're reducing the cooldown of Charge Gale from 20 seconds to 15. So the team up is shorter cooldown. And it does 5 more damage at 55 damage, which is nice. And that's everything. So thank you for watching. My name is Mojo Man Max. I hope you enjoyed going through the patch notes for season 1. I'm super excited for this season on the 10th in 2 days. And I'll see you in game. Bye-bye.